This profile covers Jeff Bezos, from a garage bookstore startup to one of the most consequential companies on Earth. We'll trace Amazon's retail flywheel, the AWS bet that rewired tech economics, Blue Origin's space ambition, and the management philosophy behind it all. Bezos is admired for long-term thinking and criticized for labor practices and market power. Stay to the end. In 1994, Bezos left a lucrative finance career and started Amazon in a Seattle garage, initially just an online bookstore. He used what he called the regret minimization framework. Act now so you don't regret inaction later. The 1997 IPO came just before the dot-com bust. Amazon survived when countless internet retailers died, a lesson in frugality, focus, and customer retention. Bezos built around customer obsession, not competitor obsession. Work backward from what customers need, then invent. His day one mentality warns that big companies die when they stop acting like startups. Annual shareholder letters became a management textbook. Long-term bets, willingness to be misunderstood, and frugality as a competitive weapon. Your margin is my opportunity became Amazon's economic mantra. Amazon's flywheel is simple on a whiteboard and brutal in execution. Lower prices drive traffic, which attracts sellers and widens selection, which improves customer experience, which lowers cost per unit through scale. Billions went into fulfillment centers and logistics. Prime turned shipping into a subscription habit, a loyalty engine that competitors struggled to match. The lesson: compounding loops take years before they look inevitable. AWS may be Bezos's most valuable bet, turning internal infrastructure into a product launched in 2006. SC2 and S3 normalized pay-as-you-go cloud computing. Retail ran on thin margins. AWS became a high-margin profit engine that funded everything else. The entire tech industry shifted architecture. Today, nearly every startup builds on AWS or a rival cloud. A classic example of planting seeds years before the harvest. Objectively, Bezos changed how the world shops, ships, and builds software. E-commerce became default behavior. Delivery expectations rose permanently. AWS democratized cloud infrastructure. Blue Origin pursues reusable rockets with patient capital. Fewer headlines than SpaceX, but the same long-horizon playbook. In 2021, he handed CEO duties to Andy Jassy and shifted to executive chair, focusing on Blue Origin, philanthropy, and personal bets. On controversies, warehouse working conditions and injury rates have drawn repeated scrutiny. Antitrust debates ask whether Amazon unfairly favors its own products on its marketplace. Union battles in Bessemer and Staten Island became symbols of a broader labor narrative. Tax structures and the gap between Bezos's wealth and frontline pay fuel political criticism. The business model is powerful, but social license has a price that investors should not ignore. Practical lessons: think in decades, not quarters. Invest in flywheels before they look impressive. AWS proved the pattern. Investors studying Amazon should separate low-margin retail from high-margin cloud economics. Entrepreneurs can copy customer obsession without copying warehouse intensity. Double experiments to double inventions, but capital allocation is ultimately the CEO's real job. That's the arc. Garage startup, customer obsession, the retail flywheel, the AWS cloud bet, achievements and the controversies that come with scale. Comment who we should profile next: Musk, Jobs, or Zuckerberg. Subscribe for more finance legends on TwoMinFinance. Education only, not investment advice.